Welcome to 10 Meaningful Minutes. My name is Laurie LaComb. I'm with the Healthy Schools Department, and I'm here with my friend and colleague, Aaron Ragon. He is the lead counselor here in Douglas County School District. And Aaron, you brought your friend today again. You want to go ahead and introduce Jon?
Absolutely. We're really fortunate to have the amazing Jon Widmier here from Littleton Public Schools. Jon is a coordinator there. Jon, you have a long title. If you want to share it, go ahead. But
I love to share it because I get paid by the minute as I speak here, Aaron. I am the coordinator of social, emotional, and behavior services for Littleton Public Schools. More importantly, and I think maybe more relevant for this, I'm also the parent of both my daughters attend Douglas County schools. Definitely invested in both school districts, but Douglas County is near and dear to my heart.
Well, Jon, it's great to have you here today. I think you were going to talk about some tips and tricks around time management.
Time management sounds like a weird subject to talk to about parents right now a little bit, but I think what we've noticed in our house, what I've noticed other people seem to be struggling with is that through the pandemic that we've been going through, no one's lives have been left unaltered. And what we found in my house and what I found talking with my colleagues is I used to just work in a school district and be a dad. And now I'm a third grade and fifth grade teacher along with that, as well as I have recess duty on a regular basis as we're in remote learning. And there's been just a lot more added to our plates. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I don't know how well I'm handling all of my new job titles and things that I have to do. And that I feel like I used to be able to separate my work and my home life a lot more cleanly. And I would drive home and be able to shift gears somewhat successfully as I've come home. But it's a much shorter commute now from my guest bedroom out into the hallway where I'm all of a sudden dad. And so it's really trying to maximize my time. And really the goal I've set for myself is to try to be where my feet are and try to be present and mindful, Laurie, and in everything that I'm doing. So time management is not necessarily so much about just work, but trying to help me be present wherever I'm at right now. There's three kind of things that I've been trying that are helping, and I'm not perfect. Whatever works for anybody out there, feel free to take one or a piece of one or whatever works best for you as we move forward. And the first one is time blocking and really trying to designate certain times for certain things. Now, I'm a school counselor by trade, and that was extremely hard to do in my job as a school counselor because it shifted and changed so radically with every student that would walk into your office. And you would always start the day with the best of intentions, and then it would go sometimes radically different on you. But as much as you can try to designate, these are the set times that I'm going to look at email, or these are the set times where I'm going to give myself permission to be on my phone and text people or call people, that can be really helpful just to try to set some limits on this is how I'm going to time block out. And this can also be really effective for your children. Right now, really kept busy most of the day on their Google Meet calls and looking at things, but to be thoughtful about dinner time is dinner time, and that's not going to bleed into playtime or other things of that nature. And so to hold maybe even some family time together can be really important to time block and set that up.
There's some great research out there on how it really increases efficiency and productivity, which I think we're all looking for a little during these times where we're doing everything all the time. And so that time blocking, if it works for you, right, if you're the person that connects to that, it can really help you be a more productive person.
Absolutely. We're not going to get more time, but if we can try to be as efficient as possible and limit those distractions and really try to dive and get to that deeper level of work, then that can be more meaningful time that we spend on work. And so that can be about eliminating what some of those distractions can be. The other method, the second suggestion I have, really talks about that a little more specifically, and it's named the Pomodoro method, which is named after the Italian name for a tomato. The gentleman that set this up used a tomato timer much like the time blocking, he would set his timer for 25 minutes. And then he would write down what he hoped to accomplish during those 25 minutes. And that's a really important piece, to write down what your goal is, because it helps you focus and think about what you really want to get done. And then for the next 25 minutes, he would dive into that and really just focus on just that one issue, just that one goal. And then at the end of that 25 minutes, he would reset the timer for 5 minutes and give himself a break to get up and walk around and do something completely different. And he found that just setting up 4 cycles like that a day increased his productivity significantly as he did that, and was a really effective way to be more efficient with his time.
Awesome. And there's some great apps. So if our listeners can't remember the 25-5, then you can download an app on your phone, and that will just help guide you through that process, and that you can manipulate it, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever works for you.
Yeah, and you might find a sweet spot might be to go in 25 minutes, you just can't quite get it, and maybe 30 minutes or 35 minutes is your sweet spot, or maybe you need a 10-minute break to get everything done. It gives you some ground rules and some ways to start to play with that. And then the last method came from a book by David Allen, he wrote, called Getting Things Done. And he's a pretty well-known speaker, and he's been on podcasts and all sorts of different resources. But his general idea was to create a master list that you work off of. So at the end of every day, the end of your previous day, you would brain dump all the things that you need to get done tomorrow down onto one master list, and give yourself maybe 10 or 15 minutes to write down all the different things that you need to get done. And then he would say, then take some time maybe at the beginning of the next day to prioritize that list. So to have some time in between there, but then prioritize that list to say, these are the most important things that I need to get done. And maybe you only get 3 to 5 things done on that list in a day, but those are the things that come no matter what. Those are the things that you have to get done, and to take the time to make that list and prioritize that list. And the beautiful thing about that method is you can do that and be analog and not be logged in, because sometimes so many of the distractions that you have are digital, with the email ping, and then you go check it, the phone rings and you feel you have to answer it. And so this you could even combine with some of the deep work or the time blocking or the Pomodoro method to say, for these things, these are so important, I'm going to just knock out a half hour and really focus on this so that I can get it done. But to really, really work off that prioritizing list. And also knowing that at any given time, because you're a human being, your list can be thrown out and a new one gets started right in the middle of your day.
Right.
What was important is no longer important, and now you need to go to the doctor's office, or now you need to go get groceries, or now you need to put your arm around your child and talk about there is a purpose for math in life and everything's going to be okay. So whatever that might be, obviously some of these hit closer to home than others, but whatever that may be, you just have to know to give some moments, and that change is inevitable with whatever list. All good plans are prone to change.
And I think, during these times, our work is looking so different day in and day out, that at the end of the day, it's really nice to celebrate something great that's happened during the day, work-wise, and also to do that with our children, before they go to bed or at that dinner time together. Like, what was a good thing today? Let's celebrate and talk about that. I think we need to keep soaking ourselves in those positive moments to get through these challenging and difficult times.
Absolutely. I think taking the moments to celebrate the wins, and maybe even write those down, it can be really helpful to stop and look at how far you've come and what was a win a month ago and where you're at now. And sometimes those writing down the celebrations or keeping track of those can be a really helpful way to just realize we're making progress. And now more than ever, we all need to just be reminded of we're making progress. We're all going to make it here.
Yes.
Great perspective. It's a fantastic perspective. And we do this thing at the dinner table sometimes in my family where we do a high-low buffalo. And this was something that my son's first grade teacher shared with us. So you share a high from the day, a low from the day, and then a buffalo is just a weird thing that happened. And I find that some of our best conversations come out of that Buffalo piece. But thanks so much, Jon. Great insight.
That was a great 10 meaningful minutes. Thanks for joining us, Jon. Listeners, make sure you do your high, low, and your Buffalo, and we hope you join us again next time.